What's up, Ramblers? I know you want to get into today's podcast, but real quick, make sure you're keeping up by following Assistance HQ and Offsource HQ across all platforms, anywhere on all social medias, to keep up with all of the latest content, updates, exclusive, and everything else. And for business owners, visit offsource.tech for all of your office outsourcing needs, a virtual assistant for every occasion. All the links are in the bio, so go check them out right now. Now, here's your podcast. Before we begin, a moment from our sponsor. What's going on, Ramblers? Welcome back to another episode of The Ramblings. I'm your host, Angelo Roberts, and we are now in our new base setup. So I've gotten a new desk, I've gotten a new chair, I've gotten some razors, I've gotten like a bunch of equipment that I have coming, right? And so I finally got everything set up. And for those of you that are listening, you can't see, but I'm also recording live right now. I've gotten a lot better at my process for how I'm going to be going live, setting all of that stuff up. And I'm actually pretty comfortable with it. And as you see, no virtual background. So things are moving pretty okay right now, as you guys can see. I'm excited with the new base. I have yet to really plug in for the microphone. I'm going to really get into that. I really want to start testing to see how it sounds. Probably going to be having some more podcasts, like outside podcasts coming. So you'll probably see me promoting other podcasts that I'm also on. Thumbnails are increasingly better because we have now better camera, better lighting, the ring light. We have the portable light that I have, and just my regular lamp. We are moving pretty good, you know. So that's my dog in the background. Not my dog, but dog in the background. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited with what we've had. We've had some pretty good guests too. Don't think that I've been slacking on the recordings of the podcast. I've been getting some really good guests, and I'm excited to be bringing them to you. Friday we actually have a guest, Emily. She's a happy coach, and so be on the lookout for happiness on Friday. So Happy Fridays is actually going to be pretty cool because I'm not calling it Happy Fridays, but this Friday is going to be Happy Friday because Happy Friday is, I have yet to really go over mental health, right? And taking care of yourself. And so I wanted to touch on people's ability to have mental health, or not ability to have mental health, but have issues, and there are solutions out there. And so as a solo founder, understanding that founders are more likely to be stressed and have mental health issues and things like that, I wanted to bring to the attention of other entrepreneurs and small business owners that taking care of your mental health and putting your happiness first is something that's pretty important. So be on the lookout for Emily's podcast dropping this Friday. It's going to be a blast. Also, I had a chance to look at our Spotify Wrapped. I say ours because you guys, the audience, are really heavily the only reason because of this. Actually, like all of this is because of you guys. We have 96 episodes, 2,800 plus minutes, and are listened to in over in 4 different countries. So that's pretty amazing to me. First year in podcasting, we have 96 episodes. Now that I think about it, that's not a podcast every single day. I have really got to do better with that part. But yeah, so a podcast, we have done 96 of 365 days. But we're almost done. So let's see how many podcasts we can get and catch up and put in back. So by the end of the year, let's see what we can go from 96. Big number though. 4 different countries: US, Canada, I believe, UK, and another one. I don't really remember. I have to go double check. But I just want to say thank you guys. Thanksgiving just passed, and so I really want to take this time to say I'm really thankful for you guys, for the audience, for the listeners that are just promoting the heck out of the podcast and really listening to it. The 3, 4, 5 people that are like listening to it as soon as it drops, that I'm assuming that are subscribed and everything, you guys matter. And I appreciate it, So thank you guys. You guys can't see, but I did like, thank you. I love you vibes, peace signs, all of the above. So I'm really excited for a lot of the special guests that I have dropping. We have some repeat guests. Not gonna say, but if you follow me on Twitter, or if you're an active follow me on Twitter, you've seen my interactions, and you can kind of guess who's going to be coming back onto the show. Hint, hint, wink, wink. But yeah, I'd like to also give, while we're out here giving thanks post Thanksgiving and everything, shout out to my co-founder Ben. He's been an amazing help and an amazing assistance in this entire building process, and I couldn't have been able to really do it without him. He's been a great shoulder to lean on when I need a shoulder to lean on, and when I need ideas to bounce off, and really taking my ideas that are these big, bountiful legacy kind of macro things, and in constricting them into bite-sized chewy things that we can really like step and move on actionably. So I just really would like to say thank you to everybody. If I haven't had a chance to personally mention you, you know that I'm thankful for you. Samantha, you're an amazing person. Really great writer and big promoter of the Black community. So thank you. Just wanted to give as many people a thankful shout out as I could, just for this particular time and everything. It's the end. We're now in December, and 2020's been a heck of a ride. It's been so crazy. I would No one would have thought that something like this could have happened, and here we are. 12 months later, all the way in all the way have almost gotten through it. We've lived through a whole pandemic. 2021, hopefully, we're turning the corner to brighter days, but who knows? So, it's just, it's that feeling. It's that, what are we going to do? And we only have each other. And so just taking that time to be thankful. 2021, I hope, has a lot of positivity in store. We've done a pretty okay job at remaining positive during this particular time, but I'm excited to see what 2021 brings. Hopefully good things. Man, the website's coming along pretty okay, I guess. I haven't really seen anything. We're actually now getting together. I've gotten a haircut. Go figure. So we're actually working on new photo shoots. We're getting headshots. I'm getting a lot of professional pictures done. I've actually networked with this really, really dope individual. She's a professional photographer and everything. She actually just launched her new website, and she's hosted she's had an event with like 200 plus people to come see her art and everything. And she's just a really cool person. So I would love for you to go check her stuff out at some point. I'm just really excited. So that's some of the things that we have moving forward. Yeah, this has been like a real like an update podcast, I guess. Um, oh, I think something that I might do is correlate some of the tidbits that we're learning in these networking meetings, right? So for those of you that aren't in any of the networking meetings or have been in these paid kind of groups, some of them have a learning aspect, right? And one of the things that we're learning this week at our Master Networks group, which is a networking thing, is communicating effectively, right? And when you're communicating, you shouldn't be communicating for you, because it's not for you per se, right? Communicating is for the both of you. And if anything, for the other person. So you shouldn't be communicating for you. You should be communicating for that other person. Because when that other person has a good understanding of what it is that you're trying to say, the message that you're trying to relay, that benefits you. And so it's a win-win situation when you communicate with somebody on their level. And there's different forms of communication, and neither of them are bad you can't approach it in a bad way. It would be bad to know someone's communication style and not approach it in that manner. But because you change how you communicate with people isn't bad at all. It shows maturity. It shows poise. It shows that you have an intellect in doing business relationships and building those kind of, relationships. So it's about communicating effectively for that person. Some people require, how do I put it? Some people require a talking, gestures, or the little side, the little not being straight to the point kind of talkers. They're really more people that you want to ask them how are their kids doing, how is their family life. You want to really get into talking to them before you get into business. You're not someone that's going to dive straight into business. That's not me. I dive straight into business. But then you have people like me who will be turned off by the fact that you're asking them about everything but business. There are a good amount of people that are like, hey, just talk to me about business, right? I just want to know what I need to know, and that's it. And the reason that knowing that is important is because if you were trying to get to a client, right, or you wanted to understand the needs of a customer or a client, and you were giving them information, you would want to know which style of communication is most effective for them to be able to answer and retain whatever it is that you're trying to tell them, right? So we are working with a particular client that we just actually onboarded. Shout out to the client that we just boarded if you're watching this. And it is important that we understood the needs of this client. She has already gone to other companies and said, hey, we have had a logo that we're trying to bring to life. We don't know what that logo looks like, but based on what I'm trying to describe is what I would like. And so these other companies have not been able to bring these words into a picture form. And so what we were able to do, and the importance of understanding, communicating with somebody, right? Effectively communicating, is that we were able to create something that she liked and that we're now using as a base for her to go with, right? So that communication, that understanding, that taking the time to say, hey, I would like to know what is important to you and how can I communicate what it is that is the solution that we have to you, right? So in those ways, people lose money or leave money on the table when they don't effectively communicate. And so the goal should be, or at least that you're learning from this, should be to effectively communicate, right? Because effective communication is what leads to effective sales. Effective sales leads to effective revenue, right? So you're always trying to scale. You're always trying to build relationships. You should always be listening. That L doesn't stand for losing, it stands for learning. When you learned, it's because you listen. Listening isn't hearing. Listening is you heard and you understood and processed, right? We don't want to just hear. We want to understand and process. That's what listening is. I listened. Because when you listen, now you have understanding, so you can act and do better. When you hear, it can go in one ear, one out the other. The information isn't as easily retained. It's not as easily recallable. So you want to be able to listen. And when you listen, you understand the problem at the core, at the root, right? So when you understand things at the root, at the core, you're able to provide better solutions. When you're able to provide better solutions, people trust you more and are more likely to refer you. And that's why communicating effectively and on someone else's level at their strategy point is effective, and why that's important. And that's what today's little tidbit for the podcast is, right? So that's what I have. Before you go, Ramblers, if you enjoyed today's podcast, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and make sure you're following me across all platforms at Assistance HQ. Catch up on exclusive content and keep track of everything going on at OffSource. See you in October.